Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to Marine Corner. This is week 7 of Cornered by Books. Hope you're doing well and having a good week so far. It is Thursday today. I'm filming again on a Thursday just because weekend's going to be busy with Sam. Tomorrow I'm hoping for a chilled evening as soon as I get home from work and the gym. What am I up to now? What have I been up to? So last Saturday I met my mate Jordan from college. We went to Catsaurus and had something to eat in Bury, which was nice. It's near the market. And then we went for a bit of a wander. And then I met up with my partner. We went for a wander. And then she dropped me off at the tram stop. And then I went to Manchester to watch some music, live music. There were 7 bands on, but I managed to miss the first one. It was at Rebellion, and it was APF Fest. So they're all on the record label APF. It was really good. There was 6 bands I managed to see, so I really enjoyed it. With my mate Harry from school and his mate Phil, although I've known Phil like 10 years now as well, so it's not like it's just Harry's mate anymore. So that was good. Enjoyed that. Sunday was a chilled day, bits and bobs, did a bit of tidying in here, got books on the bookcase that weren't on the bookcase, but I don't think it's tidy enough to start filming there yet, but it's a work in progress now. It's something I've started, and did a bit of book shopping on Sunday as well as having a couple of toasties and a brew, so that was nice. And then just been a chilled week really. Been to the gym twice so far, going tomorrow, so 3 times this week. Been to work all week. It just feels like it's been a long week, but other than that, I've been reading a lot. I've got a couple of books to talk about. I've been watching a series on the BBC called The Guest, which is really, really interesting. It's like a psychological thriller so far. There's only 4 episodes. We've watched 3 of them so far. So that's that. So that's all I've really been up to. Nothing really exciting to report. I have seen a couple of cool bookshops I want to go to. I think one's called Hold Fast in Leeds, which looks like a floating bookshop. I don't know if anybody's been. And also there's one in High Peak I've seen that's the bookish dad went to that looks really cool. So that's on my radar to go to soon rather than later. Especially the High Peak one, because it's got a cafe as well. And you can't go wrong with coffee and books and cake as far as I'm concerned. And toasties as well. If they do toasties, that's always a winner as well. Although I do make quite a mean toastie myself, to be honest. So, what have I read? I finished White Noise by Don DeLillo. I found this really interesting. It's about a family. It's a mum and dad. The parents have kids from other marriages, but they're now married, and they all live together. And the kids come and go, because they're with their other parents and stuff. But it's like about the fear of death for the parents and who's going to die first. So it's really interesting how, the fear of death is depicted in the book, as well as the white noise from you're reading it and the next minute the radio's there and it says something, or the TV's on, or you hear these interruptions like they are in life, and like the fear of death in life, and it's really good. It's really well written. I feel like I felt like I wanted to reread it as soon as I'd finished it. It was so good. I gave it 5 stars. It probably will make my best of the year so far. I don't want to say any more about it, but it's just really interesting. It's about Jack and his wife. I can't remember what she's called now. Babette. That's why I couldn't remember. Jack he's called, and then Babette's his wife. But it's really interesting how they go about the novel, and I feel like it's interesting the relationship they have with the kids as well, and how that's portrayed in the book as well. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's the first book I read. Sorry, I'm trying to tidy my desk up a bit while I'm talking. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that. So, and then, because I was at my gig on Saturday, in my last video I mentioned I wanted a bit of a page turner. Excuse me. I definitely got that with this book. I read Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I'm trying to think. I think I finished it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I finished it. I don't think I started it Saturday because I was still finishing White Noise. I was hoping I'd have more time to finish White Noise. So I only started this Sunday properly and finished it yesterday, but it's a 533-page book. And it's about two sisters. But what a girl goes missing, which is the girl's sister. But then the story is just... What I liked about this is there was 3 sisters in all. One went missing. And then there's Claire and Lydia left. And the... can't remember what she's called, the one who goes missing now. Let me see if I can find out. It doesn't actually say what she's called now. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I can't find her name now. That's going to annoy me. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Julia. Sorry, Julia. So Julia goes missing, and then you're reading it from her dad's point of view in a couple of like journal entries, but then it's going between the 2 other sisters, Lydia and Claire, and you're seeing their life. Like Lydia's got is in a relationship with the guy next door, and she's got a daughter with somebody else. And then Claire is married to Paul, and I like how it went from the 2. I don't want to say too much because I feel like anything I say might be a spoiler, but it's definitely worth a read. It's really fast paced. I think I was averaging like 100 pages a day, at least. One day I think I read 180. I just couldn't put it down. I think I read 60 on my lunch one day. That's how good it was, because I just couldn't put it down. So yeah, it's really interesting how you find out more about the girls as the chapters like interlock between one being about Lydia and one being about Claire, and then the dad, occasionally you read something about the dad. But yeah, really good. Didn't expect anything that happened in this book. It's just a wild ride. But I probably would look... There probably might be some problematic things in there, but I really enjoyed it. It was exactly what I wanted, a page turner. Right, so, what am I reading? Well, I was on the fence with what I was going to read, but then I decided that actually I was going to read the one book I was looking for when I went on holiday, which is 100 Years of Solitude. I've only just started this. I've only read a couple of pages so far. I didn't want to... I had my lunch and I was like, I didn't want to rush it. I wanted to enjoy it. So then I was like taking my time. So I'm going to go and make a cup of tea in a minute and sit down and read some more of this. So yeah. But so far it's really interesting. So that's that. I did a book haul. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't planning on buying books at all. I seen books. I was like, well, I might just get one. And then I got told, well, it's 50p each. So I was like, so you may as well get them. Okay, then. So I got 4 books. I got 3 and then I went back for a 4th. Just because I think we had 11 books. So it was like make it round to 12, which I didn't pay for the books. So I presume if it was 12, it would be £6. She probably said pay a tenner. Do you know what I mean? It goes to a good cause anyway, so it's like an animal sanctuary where we got the books from, so I'm sure she would have done that. My partner, that is. So, first up, what did I get? So I got, this is an author I have read before. This is a book I wanted to read by the author as well. The book I read was Bridge of Clay, which I read when I got it a while ago. But this is another book by him, and this is probably more my kind of, my wheelhouse, if you like, more where I'm something I'm interested in. This is Marcus Zusak, The Book Thief. This is a book I've wanted to read for a while. It says, it is 1939, Nazi Germany. The country is holding its breath. Death has never been busier and will become busier still. By her brother's graveside, Liesel's life is changed when she picks up a single object, partially hidden in the snow. It is the gravedigger's handbook, left there by accident. And it is her first act of book thievery. So begins a love affair with books and words, as Liesel, with the help of her accordion-playing foster father, learns to read. Soon she is stealing books from Nazi book burnings, the mayor's wife's library, wherever there are books to be found. But these are dangerous times when Liesel's foster family hides a Jewish fist fighter in their basement. Liesel's world is both opened up and closed down. So that sounds fantastic. I didn't realise that's what it was about. I thought it was about... Well, I didn't expect that. I thought it was about, like, the Nazis taking books, not them, not a girl. So that sounds really interesting. That's on my TBR one. I think it's down to about 30 books now. Because I kept my list that I had, but I then reduced it down to what I actually haven't read. Next up is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. I'm not sure if Steve Donahue mentioned Bone Clocks maybe, or this one, I couldn't remember. But yeah, I saw this and I quite liked the cover of it, and I was, like I say, I was intrigued. So this says, 6 interlocking lives, one amazing adventure, in a narrative that circles the globe and reaches from the 19th century to a post-apocalyptic future. David Mitchell raises the boundaries of time, genre, and language to offer an enthralling vision of humanity's will to power and where it will lead us. So that sounds really interesting. But, well, that's quite thick, and that's quite thick, to be fair. There's not really... And this one's even thicker. So this one's called... This one I've seen a couple of times in charity shops and not bought it, but then I had these 3 in my hand, and then she was like, I thought, well, I'll just get one of these and I'll decide between the 3, but I ended up with all 3. So this is A Little Life by Hannah Yanagihara. Not sure I'm pronouncing it right, so I apologise. But yeah, I fancied this because I've seen it at a few places, like say in charity shops as well as on YouTube. So, A Little Life. When 4 classmates from a small Massachusetts college moved to New York to make their way, they're broke, adrift, and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition. There is kind, handsome Willem, an inspiring actor. JB, a quick-witted, sometimes cruel painter, pursuing fame in the art world. Malcolm, a frustrated architect, at a prominent firm and withdrawn. Brilliant, enigmatic Jude, who serves as the centre of gravity. Over the decades, their relationships deepen and darken, tinged by addiction, success and pride. Yet their greatest challenge each comes to realise is Jude himself. By midlife, a terrifying, talented lawyer, yet an increasingly broken man. His mind and body scarred by an unspeakable childhood and haunted by a degree of trauma that he fears he will not only be able to overcome, but that will define his life forever. So that sounds really interesting. But what I realised is it's in bits. I like a book in parts, but the parts seem quite chunky. So there's like about 7 parts, but they're quite, I don't know if you can see that, but like 80 odd for the first one and stuff like that. So it looks like an interesting read though. But like I say, all these are on the TBR along with the ones I got from holiday, like that one, which I'm currently reading. Excuse me. And then finally the one I grabbed, I was a bit on the fence about this, but then, because I was reading a thriller at the time, I kind of gravitated towards it, and I'd already seen one of his books in a charity shop that I didn't pick up, just because it was the 4th one in the series. It was Natchez Burning. This is Third Degree by Greg Iles. Iles? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I'm sorry, Greg. Not that you'll be watching me, but yeah. In the span of 24 hours, everything Laura Shields believes about her life and her marriage to a prominent doctor will be shattered. If she survives a terrifying horror ordeal, the day begins with the jarring discovery that soon after ending an affair, Laurel is pregnant. But when she returns home to find her husband ashen, unkept, and on the brink of violence, a nightmare quickly unfolds. In the heart of idyllic Mississippi town, behind the walls of her perfect house, Laurel finds herself locked in a volatile standoff with a husband she barely recognises. Confronted with evidence of her betrayal, she must tread a deadly path between truth and deception, while a ring of armed police prepares a dangerous rescue. But Laurel's greatest fear and her only hope lies with her former lover, a brave man whom fate has granted the power to save both Laurel and her children if she can protect his identity long enough. And I quite like it because it's kind. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of like it fits in your hand nice. It's like, I mean, it's quite thick, but it's like long and, well, it's the same size as a normal book, but it's not quite as long. So yeah, looks like a cool book anyway. So all them are added to that list, like I say. So that's what I'm going to get to next. Let me just see what else I wanted to talk about. Book haul. So, rest of September's books. I've got 3 that my partner's read. The Fury by Alex Michaelides, Fury by Belinda Bauer, and The 100-Year-Old Man by Jonas Johnson. So I want to read those 3. I want to read 100 Years of Solitude, which I'm reading, East of Eden, and Crime and Punishment. So that's the next 6 books I'm kind of feeling like. Library books decision. I have decided I'm going to take everything back to the library book, conference, and the art book, and I'm just going to read what's on my shelves then, because I feel like I've got so much unread books, and I want to get them down, and they're not going to get down if I'm reading library books. I will still use the library book for like 1 or 2 books at a time to give me a bit more time to read rather than going crazy with it. If I was just reading library books and didn't have any unread books, it'd be fine. So that's that. Reading challenge update. I've read 100 books now. Pretty Girls was the 100th book I've read this year, so I'm doing well. I was aiming for 160. If I finish what I'm reading, plus a few comic books, plus other bits and stuff, I might make it. Not really bothered if I don't. Next year I'm going to reduce it totally just to 12, because I want to read like Gravity's Rainbow and Umberto Eco's Foucault's Pendulum and War and Peace and things like that. So that's why I want to reduce it next year. But anyway, that's everything I wanted to talk about. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.